Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Today is Monday, December the 3rd, 2012, and we have been watching the U.S. markets for some sign of a short opportunity, and we got it today. Looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, we have a couple of charts we're going to look at today, actually probably several, and a couple of them we've already been taking short position in because of an earlier signal on some of the charts, so we got basically the rest of the charts today. So that's basically important because now you know that they're all telling you the same thing. Look for a sell-off here. When we're looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, let me get the tools. Okay, you can see that we've traded this guy from the downside here, again here, and then to the upside here. I'm just sitting out watching this market. We wanted to see what was going to happen at this 50-period moving average. In an overall downtrend like you have here, you can tell it's a trend that is down because you have the lower series of highs and a lower series of lows. So the trend is clearly down, and when we had this move up here, we have potential for a reversal of that trend, either or start to test that trend, and things could happen there. So we wanted to see how high she would go. In this case, we did not take out the previous high, ergo the trend still is undisputed and in the downside. So when you're in a downtrend, the best places to get short will be at or above the 50-period moving average, and that's what you just bounced off of today. We're pretty close to it. So that's an important little piece of the puzzle here, and that's why we've marked it, saying that if tomorrow you get 1 penny lower than today's low of 12.959.42, if you would beat that by a single penny intraday, I'd start selling with a tight stop set right here, 1 cent above today's high. So that's a real tight little trading range that you have right here. This is your risk, and this is your gain potential. So that looks really good. We're looking at this gain potential because we're looking for a test of this previous low here. If you break through it, then that would be something else. But right now we're just looking at a test of that low. Now, had we come up here and broken out and then started to test it, I'd been much more bullish in the fact that it would say, okay, well, the next pullback is likely to attempt to test the previous high, and so I'd probably play it. This time around, if we just roll over and start coming in here, I'll be much more cautious because we never took out the previous high. So that sell pressure is still really strong there. So that's something else to think about. The SPX is another one of those charts we've been watching and looking for that sell signal after this nice little bounce to the upside. Got stopped out. We're looking for the sell signal for the opportunity to test this previous low here, and we get that today off of the 50-period moving average. A beautiful, absolutely textbook trade here. So I've marked it saying that if tomorrow by 1 penny goes lower than today's low, I would start selling with a stop set right here. So this is your risk, and this is your gain potential, like that. You'll notice again, did not take out the previous high. That's an important piece of the puzzle here. To note whenever you look at the overall trend is it's not been disputed. This is a very strong trend to the downside here, and this bounce here did not take out a previous high. So theoretically, there's nothing stopping it from actually going down here and breaking through this low and keep going lower. So that's something to think about. The Toronto Stock Exchange is one of the charts that I marked today that I didn't get an actual shooting star signal from. We had, in fact, yesterday we had the hanging man candlestick, and then we get a bearish engulfing of that candlestick today. And so I've marked it as being you could trade this too. It's also a sell signal and showing it's breaking down. But again, it doesn't have the shooting star, which I prefer to have, but you can use either one. So again, the fact that we have been in an overall downtrend here, broke previous support and then went lower and then bounced up here to the previous 50-period moving average. This all makes perfect sense to me. That's why I'm marking it, saying that you could in fact sell this tomorrow and looking for this to test the previous low here. Now, in this particular case, and typically I don't do these. I don't mark the chart when they don't have the shooting star signal. But in this particular case, I am for a couple of reasons. One, the overall chart pattern is screaming sell it, and the problem would be that you would wait for that shooting star and not get it. It doesn't always show up. Over here, you can get a shooting star signal. That makes sense. And you start selling it. Over here, you don't get one, and she sells off and then actually starts to form one later. So that can happen again. Also, in this case, we talked about back when it was happening, you were pulled back down here and you got a shooting star signal. Someone could call that an inverted hammer. But in this particular case, we told you we expected it to break down, which would mean in the future, this would be the shooting star for this and for this. So that's why I'm more confident in this scenario this time around. This broke down, telling you, okay, never mind, this is no longer support, it's now resistance. So you jump back up to that level. You expect to find resistance at the 50-period moving average, the previous level here as well, and start to roll over. So it all makes sense in my mind. The Wilshire 4500, this is the other one that we had a shooting star on today, but this one we've actually already shorted from this previous time that we had it. I told you back in this time period I didn't like the fact that it was such a small candlestick formation, and that has been resolved. Some of that issue has been resolved as of today, and this candlestick formation is larger than the previous, and telling us the exact same thing. Is still telling us the sell pressure is there, and we don't break out above previous high. I like that as well. So the stop stays right here. If you're not involved in this and you're thinking about it, you can actually, if you get a lower low than 1 cent lower than today, even if intraday activity, you can start selling that with a tight stop right here, 1 cent above today's high. Be looking for a test of the previous low at this level. Okay, over the weekend we updated the website and added a lot new features and moved around a couple of things, so check it out. You'll find that the charts that I've shown you, as well as those I didn't show you in today's video, are on the website, as well as the 2-year weekly versions of those, my own personal charts. You can find them on the home page at the very bottom, and click on them. You'll be able to read my notes on every single one of those. And there's actually we have several alerts right now on different charts going around the globe, so it's important to check those out. They're updated every single day. You also find new information in the markets section as well as the trade section. Okay, I think that's it. There's something else I was going to tell you, and I guess I'll tell you tomorrow. God bless, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Please take a moment to review our disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. Under no circumstances do any statements here represent a recommendation to buy or sell securities or make any kind of an investment. You are responsible for your own due diligence. To summarize, we do not provide investment advice, nor do we make any claims or promises that any information here will lead to a profit, loss, or any other result. These videos are for educational purposes only.